All right, everybody, so this is video 28. This is going to be called grid grid symbol application. So grid symbol application. On my grid, I have one in my room, all right? And so I'm just building like 81 symbols just for, just for me to practice trying to remember where symbols are in my grid, and I've got 81 spots. So this is I've got 9 larger boxes with 9 spots in each of those 9 for 81. This is kind of like a shelving unit, and I've got, individual decks. I'm going to show you later what that looks like, but this is just a place for you to be able to put information in your mind, and we're going to make the information symbols, and then be able to make a book that's going to be a pretty much a layout of this map that's going to be in your head, and that way you can review it whenever you want during the day, and it just gives a place for all information, and it gives a place for every thought. So anyways, in my grid, this location right here is a symbol. It's a symbol of one individual who did a 3-month Body for Life transformation challenge. And on the left, you see him before picture, and then on the right you see the after picture, and he's all transformed. These are muscles. He's happy. So this is before, this is after. So that's the symbol I have right here in this location on my grid. So when I remember that symbol, there's a lot of applications that I can attach to that. So first of all, we talked about leverage before. If you want to, do a workout every day or something, you want to jump straight to what would the results be after a year, not just like what would the results be after I work out today, because you're not going to see much of or any difference whatsoever, other than maybe more energy and better mood and stuff just after you work out. But physically, you're not going to see too much change. Like nobody's going to really make you notice, physically or on the scale, how working out one session is going to change anything. So we talked about that, but there's more that this one symbol, this one card can represent, and that's we talked about we mentioned before Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. In there, he shows how to fill a container with putting your big rocks in first, and then sand, and then water, etc. And you can fill up your day with a whole lot of stuff and get the main things in, which are big rocks. The main things will make a difference for you if you put those in first. Get the main things in first, and then let the rest of the day fill up with whatever. Because if you don't, what happens is your day just gets filled up. Like in my case, like if I start off just watching YouTube videos and stuff, I just keep watching videos, like shorts after shorts after shorts, and then I find the time goes by, and then I don't have time to go do the things that I need to do every day, to make a difference, right? So I want to really think about in advance, what are the things I need to do every single day to move forward. So after a year, I would have progressed. It's like I'm laying down blocks, a stone in a river, and then eventually I can cross it. But if I don't lay those rocks down every day, and I can't move forward, I'm just kind of like, I'm just watching YouTubes every day. Let's say if you did that, after a year, it's like you might not have moved forward at all towards your goal, because you're not kind of actively doing the stuff that's going to move you forward. So I look at Stephen Covey's 7 Habits, that analogy with the rocks, as the main things I need to do every day that will get me to this scenario, right? To become the person I envision myself to be, right? So this would be if I, spent my time on the big rocks, in Stephen Covey's example, and this would be kind of like a representation if I just spent my time filling my day with sand. That would kind of be like just watching YouTube videos all day. So there's that. So what I'm doing is I'm picking a symbol and I'm adding more meaning to it. And I'm going to build more cards, in addition down here to what this means. I'm going to expand on that with more symbols. So when I think of this, I'm thinking of everything that I'm sharing with you. I'm going to convert everything I'm sharing into symbols, and then that's going to have a place down here in cards. This is going to kind of take down line so that this is going to equal that, and pretty soon I just remember all of this in the one symbol. I remember all the information that I want to cover. So, and I just think of ideas, say when I'm working out, and then I write them down, and then I review them, and then that what I want to remember becomes permanent in my mind, and I can remember that all the time, not just kind of like have an idea when I have a shower or when I'm working out or listening to music, and then I can't remember what the thought is later because I didn't attach it to the main card, the idea, where if I do that, then it's going to last forever, right? I'll always think of it. So there was the Stephen Covey's rocks. I also want to think of doing this, all the habits that would make this happen. And it's kind of like, if I'm doing that, it's kind of like I'm in a canoe, and if I do things first thing in the morning, like go work out and stuff, it's also going to create a cycle. So there's a cycle. If I work out, I feel energetic. I feel like I'm in a good mood. I feel like eating well. I feel like doing my cards. I feel like if I start the day right, it's kind of like steering your rudder towards your goal. Like if you're in a canoe, this is your goal, and starting your day right is kind of like taking action towards your goal. Like if you're working out, it's almost like you're doing something physical and you're moving towards your goal, and it's also making you happy, and it's directional because you're focusing on where you want to go. So doing things first thing in the morning will be kind of like a cycle to keep doing things, and it's also directional. It'll help you focus first thing in the morning what you want to do, and so you can move towards your goal. I also attach here, I may as well just put the symbol for the rocks here, so I have that as one of my symbols on here. I also have like a value amount associated with habits that are the rock habits. So let's say everything that I do is a habit that is symbolized by the things I need to do to move me towards my goal. Otherwise, symbolically, like the rocks, that Stephen Covey talks about. This is going to be like value that, say, $100 value. If I do that, it's kind of like, if I work out, it's kind of like I gained $100 worth of value. Now, if I just watch YouTube videos all morning and not work out, put it off, then I don't have time to do it, it's kind of like a value of $1. So when I think of the things I want to get done, I attach a value in my mind mentally to how much it's worth to me. I attach a sense of direction. I do this versus that. I'm moving forward towards my goal. This is kind of like if moving in a canoe towards my goal is doing the things that are like the all this area, like the rocks. And if I was to do this area, it'd be more kind of like I'm in a one of those tires, inflatable tires, like a dinghy or whatever, that you're just kind of floating, not going anywhere. You're just kind of floating around, non-directionless. Just Napoleon, he'll say he's just he had a word for it, but you're not going anywhere. I don't remember the word at the moment, but that's how I associate these goals, right? And then, he called it drifting, right? This is like drifting versus being on course, being on course. Now, so that's rocks, news, value, in a cycle. So what I'm doing is any symbol can be applicable, right? I use the symbol to kind of remember a point that I want to remember that'll help me achieve my goals. In this case, it's kind of like a before and after picture, which represents if I do a certain amount of habits from now up until, the next year, I'm going to end up like this. If I do another set of habits that I associate with, being more valuable with Stephen Covey's, representation of the rocks that you need to get done, things that will help create a cycle for keep doing more habits. All of that, after a year, I'm going to be, here. I'm going to be this result instead. So I kind of attach all these kind of more descriptive meanings and a more thorough understanding of what this means by kind of breaking it down and thinking of other symbols and applications and that all apply to this, right? And this is also like a scale, right? We talked about later adding weight to what you're doing by jumping straight to the future results. If we were to do this every day, what would the results be after a year? Because that would be substantial as far as creating weight for us to actually do something, because it's a part of something bigger. It's part of a larger sum that cumulatively will actually create some results, right? So anyways, what we're doing is just taking a symbol, breaking it down, and attaching more meaning to it. And we're going to make cards for all of these extra symbols, and we're going to, in some way, kind of put it as a downline, like our solitaire model for cards, so that we understand and learn and associate and make permanent what this means with more symbols that more clearly define and describe the meaning. All right, thank you.